Canada bans foreigners from purchasing most real estate. Will the U.S. follow its neighbor? Canadians must strongly believe that foreign investors that are buying up most of the available housing is a major reason as to why home prices have risen so sharply in Canada. Could it be that the amount of foreign investors buying up properties is causing the ownership shortages amongst Canadian citizens? And is that the same reason that many are struggling to afford a home in the United States? Maybe this is why there was a bill that was presented to the U.S. House of Representatives in January of 2022. A bill that claims foreign investors now account for almost 1/3 of institutional investment in single-family rental homes. That's right here in the United States. Welcome back and thanks for watching this video. And if you're new to this channel, Sachs Realty is committed to keeping you informed on everything real estate. And if you're interested in learning more about real estate, hit the subscribe button now along with the alert bell. You'll be notified every time we upload videos just like this, which is usually about 3 times a week. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Now first, let's talk about this Canadian foreigner ban on Canadian real estate. Then we'll discuss the United States House of Representatives Bill number 6383, dated January 12th, 2022. You'll learn how this bill was designed to prohibit the purchase of public or private real estate located in the United States by foreign persons and for other purposes. And lastly, we'll look at the National Association of Realtors report recently published that talks about the international transactions in U.S. real estate. And we'll see just how many homes are sold to foreign investors in the U.S. I was shocked to learn about Canadians' ban on foreign investors purchasing Canadian real estate, and it went into effect January 1st. Now, this ban will prevent most foreigners from purchasing residential properties for the next 2 years. Canada, along with the U.S. and many other countries, have experienced massive price increases to residential properties in the last several years. This includes not only home purchase prices, but rental rates as well. In a recent New York Times article titled, "Do you want to buy a house in Canada? Not so fast," it states that during Canada's 2021 campaign for Prime Minister, a campaign website published, "The desirability of Canadian homes is attracting profiteers, wealthy corporations, and foreign investors, and that homes are for people, not investors." Now, how do you like the term that they used, profiteers? Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau, who won his 3rd term narrowly, had promised during his campaign to introduce what is now passed and called the Prohibition on the Purchase of Residential Properties by Non-Canadians Act. This new law will ban foreigners, with some exceptions, from buying residential properties for investment purposes. Canadian's Prime Minister of Housing, Ahmed Hussen, stated in December, "Homes should not be commodities. Homes are meant to be lived in, a place where families can lay down roots, create memories, and build a life together." Through this legislation, we're taking action to ensure that housing is owned by Canadians for the benefit of everyone who lives in this country. We will continue to do whatever we can to ensure that all residents of this country have a home that is affordable and that meets their needs. Exempt from this law that is now in effect for the next 2 years are home purchases that are made by permanent residents who are not citizens, international students, foreign workers, and refugees. This new law is geared to protect Canadian residents from out-of-control rising cost of housing. Canada is not the first to introduce such a law. New Zealand had introduced something similar to this in 2018, whereas New Zealand's parliament banned many foreign investors from buying existing homes in the country, a ban designed to make homes more affordable for their citizens. And Finland, since 2020, foreigners outside of the European Union and the European Economic Area need permission from the Finnish Ministry of Defense to purchase real estate. So now would be a good time to talk about the United States House of Representatives Bill of 6383. As I had mentioned, this was a bill that was presented to the House of Representatives in January of 2021. The bill headlines, a bill to prohibit the purchase of public and private real estate located in the United States by foreign investors and for other purposes. Now, I did drop a link to this below in the show details if you would like to read it for yourself. So this bill states in Section 2, called Findings, that foreign investors now account for almost 1/3 of institutional investment in single-family rental homes in the United States. It says that this increased the price and makes it more difficult for Americans to purchase a home. It states that 47% of rural renters pay 1/3 or more of their income in rent each month, and that the federal government has done nothing to help rural Americans deal with the rising cost in housing. This proposal also goes on to say, current United States laws are designed in a way that makes it more profitable for foreign investors to invest in property in the United States than their own country of origin. Now, as promised, let's take a look at that National Association of Realtors report that was recently published, titled International Transactions in U.S. Residential Real Estate. This link I've also included in the details below. This report covers real estate transactions with international clients who purchased and sold U.S. property during the 12-month period of April 2021 through March of 2022. The publication highlights as follows. Foreign buyers accounted for $59 billion in residential home purchases during this time period, totaling 98,600 existing homes. 57% of these foreign buyers reside in the United States. So who are the top foreign buyers? Ranked at number 1 is Canada, then Mexico, China, India, Brazil, and Colombia. Now the question is, will the U.S. follow our neighbor Canada in some way as an attempt to stabilize U.S. housing prices for Americans? And according to the U.S. Department of State website, the United States and Canada share the world's largest international border, 5,525 miles with 120 land ports of entry. And our bilateral relationship is one of the closest and most extensive. Nearly $2.6 billion a day in goods and services trade cross between us every single day. So I'd love to know your thoughts and comments on, should we be regulating foreign investors from buying real estate in the United States? Is this one of the main reasons why we're paying so much for our housing? And I know the thought of more government regulation here in the United States may make you think, wait, we are supposed to be the land of the free and the land of opportunity. But should those opportunities be reserved for the United States citizen? How do we protect Americans from being priced out of homes? And how do we correct the growing homelessness problem that is resulting from people not being able to afford a place to live? And the big question that I have here, guys, is why haven't we talked about this bill 6383? I completely found it by mistake. This year, hearing the Fed talking about the housing inflation crisis that we have in the U.S., and then this bill that was on the table in January of last year, really makes me wonder why we haven't heard more about it. Anyway, I hope that we do in some way pay attention and follow closely how Canada is attempting to make more affordable housing, and to consider what's going on as a result of New Zealand and Finland's attempt to do the same. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, you can hit that thumbs up. And one of the ways that you can help me is to share this with at least one person that you feel can benefit from our channel. This will help us keep more people informed about the greatest impact to our financial lives, and that's the roof over our head. Please don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that alert bell. See you next time.
Sachs Realty, Maryland broker number 607720, office number 443-318-4514, equal housing opportunity.